Beautiful view, isn't it?
Looks like a rundown old ruin to me.
Maybe that's why I find it beautiful.
Maybe this is why I find you pretentious.
Another jest, Tyler?
I can't help it if you don't appreciate good humor.
Neither can I, but even I know enough to tell you that your humor is bland and tasteless.
We're talking about my humor, not your personality.
Hilarious.
I didn't come here for jokes, Deacon.
I figured that as soon as you opened your mouth.
I came, to ask you a favor. Come with me to Io.
I'm not interested in the vault, Tyler. You know that.
Not for the vault.
Then...
I need backup.
Who's out to get you this time?
An assassin. Wolfen's Ever heard of him?
No. I assume he's spectacularly lethal?
Yep. And he's after the vault too. Same as me.
Then you need my help.
Yes, I need your help. God, you're slow.
You're still holding up okay, right? You're not...
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm just saying, if I had spent that much time on Ganymede...
Deacon, shut up about Ganymede, yeah? Now, I need you to back me up. Are you coming or not?
Give me a few hours to prep my ship.
Beautiful, isn't it?
This is what we fight for, Fawcett. This is what all the Vanguard's rules and regulations protect.
Don't the rules seem restrictive somewhat?
Maybe to you.
Or maybe it's you.
What was that, Fawcett?
I'm just saying, Commander. You seem to enforce Vanguard rules strictly, even when some of the rules are more like guidelines.
My authority makes you disciplined. It builds character.
I find it overbearing.
That's just the way things are. You're under my command, which means I have control over you.
And if I don't agree with that?
Agree or not as you wish, but I expect unflinching obedience from you, regardless of how happy you are with my orders.
You really think the Vanguard will be so eager to punish me if I challenge you?
If you want to play that game, then consider this. The Vanguard are no more likely to investigate your insolence than your disappearance.
Disappearance?
You can't go complaining to the Vanguard about me if you suffered an unfortunate accident, for example.
Are you threatening me?
Of course not. I'm just describing hypothetical situations, same as you. Now, go prep the ship. We're heading back to the moon.
Prep the ship. We're going to Io.
But Comer said...
I know what he said, but I'm not going back to the moon.
Interesting architecture, isn't it?
We're not here for the architecture.
Uh-huh. You have a way to crack the door?
Possibly.
What is it then? What's your secret method?
Ghost and guard, Cantor.
I'm your student. I deserve to be here to watch you solve the hypothesis, don't I?
If one of the Vault Hunters ambushes me, they could very easily steal all the Vault has to offer.
I thought you didn't care about the Vault's treasure.
I don't, but I refuse to let any low-life thug take it through my own hard work. Go stand guard, Cantor.
Do you trust Cantor?
He's a useful enforcer and a promising mathematician, but no, I don't trust him yet.
Which one of these roles is the reason you took him on?
You think I'd accept Cantor as my student if I didn't see promise in him?
You're hard to read sometimes.
So is Cantor.
Fair point, but we can discuss this later.
Exactly. Access the Vault's mainframe.
Done. What are you going to do?
The Riemann hypothesis says that real part of the non-trivial zeros of the Riemann zeta function are equal to a half. That's complicated, so let's break it down. The Riemann zeta function is a function. You put one number in, you get a different number out. When you put certain complex numbers into the Riemann zeta function, the function spits out 0 as its answer. It does this for trivial zeros, which are boring and predictable. There are also non-trivial zeros, which is what we're interested in. They happen randomly. No pattern, no rhyme, or reason. Impossible to predict. Now, according to the hypothesis, whenever you get a non-trivial zero, the complex number you put in always has a half contained in it, 0.5. Unfortunately, this doesn't work the other way around. Not every number with a half in it is going to spit out 0. The only way to know is to check every single number, which you can't do, because numbers go on to infinity. What you can do is use clever little tricks to try and make the problem more manageable, tricks that would take decades of studying to understand. After that, you can break the problem down even further, which makes it a lot easier to solve. But I'm not going to do any of that.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
You're not going to solve the problem?
Yes and no.
You're not making any sense.
I'm going to give the Vault my solution to the hypothesis. An incorrect solution.
But how?
O'Brien is clever, but he's lazy, and he's not as clever as me. I think he'll have cut corners on the verification system to check whether an answer is correct or not.
So you're exploiting O'Brien's negligence. That doesn't seem very sporting of you. Especially not when you're so adamant against Tyler using his skeleton key.
Tyler's skeleton key is cheating. He's breaking the rules of the game. I'm merely exploiting the holes in them. Besides, the hypothesis is essentially impossible to solve anyway, so if I can at least trick the Vault into opening, then I consider the job done.
How do you know your trick will even work?
I don't. For all I know, I might be wrong. But it would be foolhardy not to try.
If you say so, what do you want me to do?
Extend the function.
Done.
Brute force the values as high as you can.
Alright, done. I've proved the hypothesis true for the first couple of trillion exponents.
Construct a probability case.
Done.
Round it to the nearest 1%.
Uh-huh.
Round that value to the nearest 10%.
You can't do that.
Exactly. You can only round a number once. But I taught O'Brien the fundamentals of number manipulation, and he never quite grasped it fully. The system he built will have inherited that.
Well, alright then. What's next?
What's the probability that the hypothesis is true, right now?
With your rounding? 70%.
Round it up to 100%.
And from there I can handle the rest. Let's see. Streamline the argument a little, refine the number work, bury the rounding in equations so it's harder to catch, and I'm done. It's a pretty clever piece of trickery, I'll give you that. But I fail to see the difference between what you're doing and Tyler's skeleton key. You're both cheating, aren't you?
Is it cheating if the problem can't be solved in the first place?
Good point. Ah, that'll be the vault. Oh, that's not good.
What?
The vault rejected your answer.
You're kidding.
Nope. It says your answer's wrong. Which it is, obviously. Seems like O'Brien wasn't as careless as you thought he was. Kairos, are you?
Gauss, enough. It's impossible then. All this work, all these vault hunters clamoring for gold, all the violence, all the bloodshed. Furrier was right. The vault can't be cracked.
If you ignore Tyler's skeleton key, that is.
The vault can't be cracked legitimately then.
Listen, Kairos, I know you're frustrated, but if anyone can beat the vault, it's you. You might just have to rethink your approach a little.
Alright, Gauss. Let's do some rethinking then.
I'm a good assassin. After my father's death, I started molding myself into a consummate professional, someone who would take on any job if it paid well enough. I gained quite a reputation. My first kills were loud and flashy, faction leaders being blasted to pieces in explosions, aristocrats dangling from balconies, gang leaders found slashed to ribbons in rivers of their own blood. But I quickly realized that the fear factor of those kills, as impressive as they were, would only lead to notoriety and an inevitable manhunt. So, I became stealthier. A poison chalice, a spaceflight gone wrong, a long fall down a vent shaft when nobody was looking. I became renowned for being able to make anyone disappear with no questions asked, which I was fine with for the most part. But it left me wrestling with my own place in the world. If nobody knows who I am save for the banal criminals who hire me, where does that leave me? Murder is a craft, each mark an open-ended puzzle, each death swift and sure. If nobody appreciates the skill and subtlety in vanishing people off the face of the solar system, does it still count as art? Or am I nothing more than an invisible reaper sicked on unwitting targets by uncaring bidders? I don't know. I don't know much anymore. But I know who I am. I know that I exist, and I know that I can appreciate my own life and work. Every life I've ended, from my father's neck at a terrible angle, to those scientists with bullet holes in their heads, is a record of my existence. And maybe that's all I need, to know that I lived and killed as best as I could. Now I'm facing down one last challenge, the Olive Vault. The other Vault Hunters are sharper than my usual assassination victims, and they're constantly on the move. Kairos may not be a fighter, but she's clever, far cleverer than me. I need to avoid her. Her student, too, is an unknown factor. If this Cantor can fight, they'll be difficult to take out. But the Reichenbacher boy's no match for me, and he has the key to my long and easy retirement. I'll be gunning for him. At the same time, they'll all be hunting me too. I have no allies I can call for backup. I have no ghost to undo my death. I have none of their advantages. So I'll just have to fight harder and faster and smarter than all of them put together, which suits me just fine. I'll be alone, staring down half a dozen challengers, but I've always been alone anyway, so I'll survive. I always have.